Ring hamstring curls. Now, before I get started, I want to be very clear. If your rings reach the ground, like you don't have them as high as mine, don't do it on a box. Just do it on the floor. So you can lie on the ground and do the same thing with the rings just above the ground, okay? I'm just using this because my rings are super high, all right? So what we're going to do is get into position on the ground, and you want to be in a position where when you're seated on the ground, your knees are pretty much touching the rings. So that will like determine how far you need to be from the rings, okay? So you're quite close to them. You're going to put your feet into the rings, having the ring mostly towards the heel. So not towards the front of your toes, more towards the heel, all right? And do this with bare feet, like no socks because it slips, makes it so much harder. Shoes makes it so much harder. Bare feet so it can really dig into your arches, okay? Then what you're going to do is you're going to lie down onto your back and you're going to straighten your legs out firstly. Now, first thing that we're going to do is lift our hips off the ground, and then from here, keeping our hips engaged in this posterior tilt, we're going to pull our heels towards our bum and squeeze our hamstrings and our glute as hard as we can. And then keeping our hips nice and high and tucked, we straighten the legs back out. Now, what I see a lot of people do is this: they get this position pretty good, but then they keep their hips low and just pull the heels towards their bum, but their hips aren't lifting up at the same time, okay? So we really want to make sure that there's a straight line from my knee to my shoulder. So if you look at that, that's a straight line. As I bend my knees, that's still a straight line. It's not a bent line, okay? So it should be a straight line like that. Another thing that I see all the time is people use their lower back heaps and arch into their lower back. What you want to make sure you're doing is tucking your pelvis. So your core is engaged, your pelvis is tucked, and your glutes are on. This will mean that your hips don't go as high, which is completely fine, as long as you can still feel your glutes and your hamstrings like super engaged, right? So just to repeat that, legs straight, lift the bum, tuck pelvis, pull heels into bum whilst hips are lifting up, staying that straight line, and then lengthen the legs out, keeping everything nice and engaged. So hopefully that made sense. And this is the ring hamstring curl.